This is question number 31 on the January 2017 Algebra 1 Common Core Regents. And what we have is a table and a function. So we have a family is traveling from their home to a vacation resort hotel. The table shows their distance from home as a function of time. So the distance is the function. So basically this is acting as our y, and the time is acting as our x. So whatever we're doing it a function of, that's going to basically be the x value, the independent variable, and the distance here is the function, so that's going to be the y value. And the question is, determine the average rate of change between hour 2 and hour 7, including units. The average rate of change is basically a fancy way to say slope. It represents how quickly the distance is changing per hour. So the slope formula is the change in y over the change in x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, we've established that these are the y values, so we're going from 2 to 7. This must be y1, this must be y2, this must be x1, this must be x2. All we have to do is fill this in. We get 480 minus 140 over 7 minus 2. 480 minus 140 is 340. Now, it does say including units, so let's establish that this must be in miles because there's a difference in the distance. And this is 5, and this must be hours because that's given to us in hours. So we have 340 divided by 5, and that is 68 miles per hour. And that's the speed, which makes a lot of sense because if we recall from an earlier question, distance is velocity or speed times time. So if we consider that this is basically our y and this is basically our x, well, this is the slope in a y equals mx plus b, and the b would be 0. So the speed would be our rate of change, or the average rate of change over that period of time. And that's it for this question. This is pretty straightforward. You do have to remember the slope formula, and you do have to recognize that the independent variable here is the time, which can be represented by x, and the distance is the y, or the dependent variable.